Alright guys, so today we are going to be taking this wall tapestry and framing it. So right now we just have this on the wall with some tacks. It looks okay. We wanted to put it on a frame so you could switch it around. So I'm going to show you how so let's get started. So first things first was I had to figure out how to do this. So what I did is I measured the tapestry. It's 51 by 60. And then I got some wood from Home Depot, and they were 8 feet long and 1.5 inches wide and 1/2 inch. So 1.5, well, I guess they call them 2 by 1s, but they're actually 1.5 by 0.5. So I wanted a 1/2 inch wrap around. It's a 1/2 inch thick. So I'll show you the wood here real quick. So this is the wood. So on the side here, the tapestry has got to wrap around that. So this is a 1/2 inch, so that's got to factor in. And then it staples into the back. Okay, so what I had to figure was this tapestry was 51 by 60. So you measure how big your tapestry is. And then I want to frame it up, and the frame's just going to be basically like this. So 2 along the top, 1 in between each side there, and then screws into the top like that. Instead of cutting them at 45s, I thought this might be a little easier than trying to cut 45s. So calculations were the fabric was 51 by 60. I wanted a 1.5 inch overlap. So that's a 3/4 inch on each side. So that counts for this 0.5, the 0.5 on the other side overlap, and then just a little bit of enough material to go onto the back so we can staple it. So that's what the 1.5 inches factored in there. So we want 1.5 inches less all the way around. So we had the 60, and we take the minus the 1.5. That gives me the 58.5. And the 58.5 is going to be our 2 longer boards here and here. And then I had to subtract the 3-inch width of the board, which is the width of the board times 2. So basically how long this one is right here and this one. So that gives me 3 extra inches. So it was 49.5. I needed the other one, the length to be. So I subtracted the 3 inches, got 46.5. So that gives me the 2 cuts I want. 46.5 for 2 boards and 48.5 for the 2. So that's the 51 and minus the inches that we need to give us that overlap. So once those have been cut, and I cut those to the proper length, now we got to make sure it's square. And this is kind of difficult. Basically what I'm using here is a clamp. These are Urin quick grip, and I got a kind of a square here. So basically this just makes sure that it's as square as we can make it pretty much. And I also have to I'm going to drill a hole in the end here, pre-drill, and then probably put just one 3 or 3.5 inch screw in there to hold it. So this should be sturdy enough. And I'm also going to put a bead of wood glue in there when I do that, just to give it that little extra hold. So that's what I'm going to do next. Is I'm going to pre-drill the holes here, and then I'm going to screw the screw in. Alrighty, so I got my drill here. Try to just drill this right into there as best we can, right in the center possible. Okay. And I use one of these, and that helps just cut a bigger hole in the wood. where the screw head will go, and that will keep it so you can go flush. That way the screw head will be flush when you screw it in there. So that should be where we want. Screw here, and I went with a 3-inch screw, and I'm just going to screw that in there. Man, I should put in some wood glue, but I don't want to take this apart now that I got it all square. That's where it should be, right there. So let's go ahead and put one of these in. Hard wood here for some reason. Got an impact driver and it's jacking up the screw head. That's awesome. Okay. So as you can see, now the screw is reseated in there, and that should be nice and tight and roughly square. And it's pretty much square right there, like that. All right, so we just got to do that to the other ones. And maybe I can screw this in a little tighter here. Pretty good. Now we just got to do that to the other corners. Basically get it as square as we can so it doesn't look too lopsided. So we'll do that to the other ones. Okay, for this next one, I'm just going to put a little bead of glue on there. And this is just regular wood glue. And I'm just going to throw a little bead of it right on here. I'm going to put together. Should form a little bit better bond. Okay. Just like that. Don't need a whole bunch. Now, got my square here, and these are going to be all lined up here. Let me get my Irwin quick grip here. Kind of the fun part here. If I had a table, if you had a nice table to set this up on, it would actually be quite a bit better, because this isn't the easiest thing to do. Trying to get this all on there without getting it all square, and this is up in the air too. So if I had it on a bench or something, that would be nice. It's just all part of the trying to get this square on all contact points, as well as vertically. So just kind of get that a little tight there, and then we're going to move it together as much as possible. Make sure that we're square all the way around. And I'm just going to tighten this down as much as I can. Just like that. Okay, so this one's got a little gap here because this wasn't cut. You gotta make sure these cuts are at 90 degrees as well, so a table saw would be the best thing for that. So here we go with the second one. Just going to get our drill here and get this in there. Okay. And we're going to use our piece here. go. Get that nice ditch there. Indentation, I should say, not a ditch. And then we'll take our screw and screw that in. When you're choosing your wood, it's pretty good right there. When I made my cuts, I made sure that there weren't any knots. You don't want knots towards the end of your woods anywhere because they can really mess up when you're trying to screw it in and stuff like that. So there's the second one. We've got 2 more to go. Yeah, we're almost finished. Okay, these last 2, I went ahead and just put a bead of glue in there and clamped that one. And the same with over here, put a bead of glue in there and clamped it. And now I'm just going to drill my holes and screw those in. Okay, so that's all done. So we can kind of see that's pretty square there. Better than I thought it was going to turn out. So it's about perfect actually. So this is our final layout here, and hopefully my measurements were right. Now we're just going to wipe off the glue, wipe down the frame here, pull the tapestry off, and we're going to staple that on there. So that's the next step. Okay, so I made a slight miscalculation on the frame. These are not 1/2 inch wide, they're 3/4. So these are supposed to be 2 by 1s and 1.5 by, I thought it was going to be 1/2, but it turns out to be a 3/4. I thought I measured it, but I was just saw what I wanted to see. So we're just, it's perfect overlap here. I just wanted this one to overlap so I could fold it over and then staple it in the back. It'd be a lot easier than stapling it into the bottom here. But be that as it may, I think I'm just going to staple it in the bottom anyways and call it good. So what we're going to do is try to get this as straight as possible. So I think I can overlap here a little bit and just staple that in as we go and try to go from the other side as well. If we can just hold this here flush and then staple that too, I think we'll be good to go. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so we're just going to start off here in the corner, I guess, and staple this one right here. Okay. Now we want to pull this relatively tight.
No.
Huh? Yes? No?
Do we have enough on the other side?
We should. Pull this tight like this.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm basically just stretching this. Really? No, we're not going to focus. Okay. I'm basically just pulling this tight here, pretty tight. And we're just going to put another staple in here.
Don't pull it too much, otherwise we're not going to have it on the other side.
Yeah, it's just doing a little tiny bit of an overlap here. Like that. And there. Okay. And next, I'm just going to do probably
Right there.
another one right here. here, and I'm just making sure I get in the double stitch here. And remember, when you're using a staple gun, when it staples, it's where that little arrow is. So if you're doing it right at the edge, it's going to miss. The staple's going to come out right where those arrows are, if you see those. So that's where you want to go. Okay, so another staple right here. Perfect. Don't want too close to this edge here because it might split the wood. And I'm going to put one more here. Crud, do we have enough room down there? There's enough to wrap around? It's not? Yes or no? Oh wait, the bottom one was, see, I have all this room there. What are we looking like over there?
Not much.
Oh my goodness. Where did it all go? This is the bottom, so I have a ton of room over there, but now I don't have like 0 room right here. Oh well. So it's kind of a learning experience. And we'll put one more over here, I guess. All right. So hopefully all these, I'm trying to pull it taut so that it'll have no lines in it when we get done. That's the objective here. Okay, so we put one right about there. Okay, so there's a few there, and we're just gonna kind of work our way around and make sure that we're pulling it nice and tight when we do. For the corners, we can just fold this one in and bring this one up over the top like that. Okay, and we'll just kind of go around as we go. Okay, so I'm pretty much just alternating. Once I get a staple in this side, go over to the other side, the staple, then I pull it tight. So about every 18 inches or so. And just like that, pull it, nope, I pull it tight. This way against this staple. As much as possible, I want it nice and taut. And then we'll put our staple in here. Okay, and then we go over to the other side. Get this last one here. So it turns out this fabric is stretchable, so I can kind of get away with stapling it in the back here. So seemed to work out, even though I mismeasured by a hair. It's gonna be all right. So this last one, I'm just gonna pull it nice and tight. Just wanna make sure that I get my staple in here. So just kind of rolling that up over the top here. Well, good golly. Kind of difficult to get this here. Sometimes you need 3 hands. I need help. I need help. just put your finger right here. Hold that right there. Put your finger right there. Okay. Perfect. Okay. Now we can work on the edges here. And so that with the corners, pretty much just folding one part down like that, then bringing that part over. And we can staple this one first, I think. Like that. See how that goes. And then we can just bring this one up and over. So with the rest of the fabric that we have, which is quite a bit, we'll just make sure we pull it nice and tight as we go around. That way we will be okay. So that was the corner. We'll show you the other corner here as we work our way around. All right, so the final steps here. We'll just get this corner folded in if we can, and we'll just kind of pull this part around. That there's not really a lot of give in this one, so maybe just pull it over just as long as it's over here like this. Kind of call that good, I guess. And I missed. These staples are a little tricky. It's just kind of bulky, so there, we got enough of it that time. And then just fold it over here like that. This will be the final one there. Make sure it's nice and snug. All right, so let's see how it looks. All right, so here's the finished result, and it's a lot easier to move around, I guess. I just put a single screw in the top there into the sheetrock, and then just hung it from that. It only weighs a pound or so, so looks kind of cool. And there it is. So thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time.